Hi, Mom. So I got my ticket home from Europe. I get back on June 6th, but it's a really late flight because that was the cheapest, so it gets in at midnight. But don't worry, I'll get a shuttle from the airport so you don't have to pick me up. Like, really seriously, you don't have to. Okay, so love you. See you soon. Bye.
It's time for the second walking simulator review in my special. I decided to take a look at Gone Home. Gone Home was the first walking simulator I played. Well, technically this would be the Stanley Parable, but that game is not on PlayStation, so I decided not to include it. I remembered clearly how I was sent to Germany to do a training for work, to the very grey city of Essen, which actually means both to eat and food, by the way. It's kind of funny. I was so bored at night alone in a small hotel room, but these two games really make it a bit more tolerable. Anyway, what's Gone Home? Gone Home takes place in 1995. The main character, Kathy, comes back from her long travel in Europe. She arrives at her family's new house and finds it completely abandoned. When she explores the huge house, she finds out that how her younger sister Samantha is struggling growing up. And this is what you do. You look through the house and find clues why the enormous house is abandoned. These clues are usually pretty well hidden, so you have to look in every small crack, open every drawer and look behind every corner of the house. And this house is made in such a way that it looks realistic. There are no rooms out of place. This makes the house very easy to traverse. On the other hand, it is a bit strange that there are no open spaces like balconies or backyards in such a big mansion. Either way, the mansion looks stunning. Not just lived in and logical, but also a house in which you would like to live in. I was especially impressed with the little details. It is clear that this takes place in the 90s. You even find a Super NES somewhere, with a game and hooked up to a CRT television. I really love these details. What can I say about the sounds? Well, I must say that the background music is not very noticeable, but it sets the mood well. Samantha is in a band and you can hear some demo songs now and then. These aren't great, they're obviously lousy recorded demo tapes, but still, it's a nice touch. One of the most important things I like in games like this is when they have good voice acting. It is something that I can think can really lift up the immersion. Gone Home has great voice acting. There's not that much to voice though, only the main characters needed to have voice acting, but both these main characters, Kathy and Samantha, are fully voiced, and this is done very well. I guess you aren't surprised to hear that I really like Gone Home. But I have to make clear that this is not without a negative point though. The game isn't perfect. And I guess this point, or at least the biggest negative point, is that the game sometimes feels more like a search than an exploration. Let me explain. Sometimes the game feels like, you know, when you're searching for a CD or your phone or your keys and you know it is there, but you don't remember exactly, so you just look everywhere and yeah, well, that is how the game can feel sometimes. I was looking for a small piece of paper for an hour or so before I could progress. You really have to look very thorough, because when you miss something, it's a pain to backtrack. And when you finally found all the clues, it becomes a very short game. So short that there's actually a trophy on the PlayStation to finish the game within a minute. Of course, this is only possible if you know all the clues and codes by heart, and you won't actually understand anything from the story if you play it just for 1 minute. But it is possible, and I think this is a bit of an oversight. On the other hand, when you do play the game as intended and when you don't get stuck, it has a really powerful narrative. Maybe even the best of the games that I ever played. I'm not sure if it is based on someone's real experiences, but it feels like it. It feels real. One of the more original aspects of this game was the setting. Not that it was set in a house, that's done 100 million times, but I thought that it was very refreshing to see a game taking place in 1995. I was 11 at the time, and I do feel some nostalgia for this time period. I really enjoyed this game and its narrative. Oh, And before I forget, the last question, is this a walking simulator? Well, I was convinced when I remembered this game that it was a stereotypical walking simulator. But when I played it again though, I can conclude that with all the searching, it kind of hinders the flow of a narrative game. And yeah, this is actually only a game that has this, so I cannot really call this a walking simulator. Well, I can call it a walking simulator, but not a stereotypical walking simulator. And I would not start with Come Home if you want to start playing walking sims. That being said, Gone Home is a very well made and impressive game, with a strong story that has a surprising ending. I can totally recommend this game, as long as you don't mind searching through some drawers and some closets, because like I said, it is not a typical walking simulator. So, this was my review of Gone Home, the second one of this walking simulator special. Yeah, let me know what you thought about it. Did you play it? I think a lot of people played this game. It was even for free at PlayStation Plus at some point. Yeah, let me know what you thought about it, and like and subscribe if you like this video. Well, that's it. Have a nice day. Bye bye.